Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So today's story time is about an old girlfriend of mine, but not specifically about her crazy mom. Yeah, her mom was insane, a bit of a Karen look, if I do say so myself, and I think you guys would find this funny and enjoyable. If you do, please leave a like on the video, and let's just jump right into today's story time. So this story time takes place in 2017, okay? A year of where many story times take place for me. I don't know why that year was so insane, but it just was. So yeah, this all starts off as a normal day. I was dating this girl at the time. She was actually sleeping over at my house. And our relationship for the most part was fine, but there was one issue. We were just growing apart. We had dated for like 3 or 4 months, and just over time, we just kind of realized that we weren't really compatible. And also, she was moving away soon. She was moving to an entirely different state, so I wouldn't be seeing her much anymore. So while she was at my house, we got on the topic of her moving, and we both just mutually agreed at the same time to split up. And it wasn't some like angry ass petty breakup. It was probably the calmest breakup I've ever been through in my entire life. We both just agreed, she was going to be moving to another state. I was always back and forth between LA, and that it just wouldn't work very much. So we mutually agreed to just stay friends. And we actually did stay friends. We still hung out like every week. But here's the issue, okay? Her parents are a little bit on the crazy side, and she didn't tell her parents about us breaking up. Now, her mom specifically loved me. I don't know what it was, but she was like just insanely obsessed with me. Like, she just liked me so much. Now, I was not aware that she didn't tell her mom or dad about us breaking up, and she invited me to her last dinner before she was moving away. She had like a going away dinner with all of her closest friends and her family, and I got invited to that, and I was totally gonna go. It was her last dinner here. I wanted to see her on her last day here, because the next day she had an early flight out and she was moving, so I didn't want to miss that. So fast forward to the dinner, I got ready really quick, showed up to her house, hugged her parents, said hello, and at this point, I had no idea that she didn't tell them that we broke up. In their mind, we were still dating. And I walk in, they give me a hug, I say hello to them, we go over to the dinner table, I sit down, everyone starts sitting down, getting ready for dinner, and we start passing food around and just talking. And this is a big dinner, there's a lot of people there, a lot of friends, a lot of family, and it was kind of awkward because nobody was having individual conversations like a normal dinner, everybody was talking two at a time. So like her parents would ask someone a question, and they'd start talking, and everyone would just stay completely silent and listen to their conversation, and then they would ask me a question, and I would talk, and everyone at the dinner table would listen to me, and it was just kind of awkward having that many eyes on me while I was trying to talk. And then her parents asked me a question that I did not expect. So her mom goes, "Austin," and I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" And of course, everybody goes silent to listen in on the conversation. And then she asked me, "Have you ever been in a long-distance relationship before?" And I was like, "Only once, why?" And she was like, "Well, how do you think you and my daughter are going to handle it?" And the whole table's just staring at me. It's so awkward. And my face just changes because I realize in that moment that her parents still think that we're dating. So I look at my ex-girlfriend and she's making the most like scared face because she realizes that I just realized that her parents don't know yet. So I look back at her mom and I'm like, "I think we'll do okay." And she goes, "You hesitated. Are you not like confident in you guys being long distance?" And then my ex chimes in and she's like, "Look, mom, I was going to tell you after I left, but me and Austin broke up a little while ago." And her face, her mom's face, just changes into like pure disappointment. And she goes, "What?" And same thing with her dad. His face just looks shocked. And she goes, "Yeah, we broke up, and I just was waiting to tell you till we had a little bit more privacy, not tonight." And she was like, "Well, why didn't you just tell me any other day? Like, any day before now would have been fine." And she starts getting a little bit angry. She has like an angry tone in her voice. And then she divides her attention to me. And she's like, "Austin, did you break up with my daughter, or did she do it?" And I was like, "Whoa, like, no, it was a mutual thing." And she goes, "Bullshit, it's never mutual. Did you do it?" And at this point, I'm fucking scared. Like, this lady went from loving me to hating me in the span of a second. And everybody at the table is just dead silent with the most awkward, like, nervous looks on their faces. It was so embarrassing. And then before I can respond, her mom just jumps to the conclusion that I dumped her. And she's like, "What's wrong with my daughter? Why'd you dump her? What the fuck's wrong with her?" And like, she just starts having a breakdown. And my ex yells at her. She's like, "Mom, it was a mutual decision. Stop it, you're embarrassing me." And her mom stands up and gets in my face and starts screaming, "What's wrong with my daughter? Tell me." And then her dad stands up, and I'm thinking he's gonna like calm the situation down and like get her away from me, but he joins in. He's like, "Austin, just tell her the truth and she'll stop." And I'm like, dude, what? I'm telling the truth. So I stand up and I start leaving because at this point it's awkward. I can't handle it anymore. I don't know what the hell's going on. So I start putting my shoes on and her mom follows me away from the table to the front door where I'm putting my shoes on. And she's like, oh, now you're just going to walk away. Just like you did to my daughter. You're just going to walk away. And I was like, please just step back, because she was screaming in my ear. And she goes, I'll step back when you tell me the truth. So I finally just say it one last time. I'm like, I'm telling you the fucking truth. Me and her mutually decided to split up because it was going to be too difficult dating from across the country. So please, if you would, just step back and let me leave in peace. And she goes, in peace? I don't like liars in my house, Austin. I thought you weren't one of them. I thought my daughter finally found someone who tells the truth. And she gets up in my face even more. At this point, she's like a centimeter away from my face. And she's just screaming all these different random things, just accusing me of all this bullshit. So I try asking nicely one more time. I'm like, please, can you just step back and let me leave? And she goes, what are you going to do about it? And she gets up in my face even more. She's touching my face with her face at this point. And then she puts her hands on me. She pushes me back into the door. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck is your problem, you psychopath? And she was like, just leave. I'm pushing you out. Just leave. So I tell her, I'm like, yo, it's not a good look that you're trying to fight your daughter's friend right now. And she's like, no, you're not her friend. You're her ex-boyfriend. And this whole time, my ex-girlfriend was just screaming in the background for her to fucking stop and leave me alone, and that I was telling the truth. So fast forward, I finally get out the door, I walk away, I have one of my friends come and pick me up because I got dropped off there from a friend. And he comes and picks me up, me and him drive off, and I tell my friend the whole story. I'm just ranting to him about it. I'm like just pissed off. And he didn't believe me the first time I told him. He thought I was joking. But then I was like, no man, like I'm telling the truth. So fast forward a couple hours, my ex-girlfriend calls me, and she's just so apologetic. She just keeps saying sorry. She's like, I don't know what got into her. Like, I'm just so sorry, and so is my mom. We want you to come back tonight so she can say sorry in person. And I think to myself, okay, is it really a good idea that I go back into the house where my girlfriend's mom literally just tried to fight me pretty much? Like, she got in my face and then pushed me. So I say it, I'm like, I don't know if that's such a good idea. Like, your mom does not like me very much anymore. And she goes, no, like, really, she won't do anything, I promise. And she hands the phone off to her mom. And her mom gets on the phone. And she's like, Austin, just please come back. Let me explain myself. I'm like, okay, I'll be there in like 30 minutes. So my friend turns around the car, I hang up the phone, we go all the way back to my ex-girlfriend's house, I tell my friend to wait in the car, I go inside, and I sit down at the table, and everyone's still there, by the way, they're in the other room. I sit down at the table, and it's me, my ex-girlfriend, and her parents, and her mom starts off by saying, Austin, I don't know what got into me. I don't know why I was trying to put my hands on you. That was just horrible of me to do. Like, I don't know why. I'm just so distraught about my daughter leaving, and I've been drinking tonight. So those things mixed together made me act violent towards you, and I'm so sorry. I just can't handle her leaving, especially being on her own. And then hearing that you guys broke up, I just went crazy and put someone I cared about in harm's way, that being you. And I was like, it's totally fine. It's all good. Just please don't ever do that again. And she was like, oh, don't worry, honey. I won't. Now, even though I said it was okay, it still wasn't okay inside. Like, I was pretty just, like, shocked still. So I decided, I'm like, all right, well, thank you guys so much for the apology. I'm going to head out. And she's like, okay, like, let me know if you need anything. I'm like, okay. So I get up. My ex-girlfriend walks me out. She apologizes again. I say it's not her fault. And then I go to my friend's car, and we drive off. And needless to say, I never went back there again. I still am friends with my ex to this day, but I do not hang out with her mom ever because, well, I don't really need to say why. I mean, it's pretty obvious. But yeah, guys, I thought the story time was crazy. Literally, my ex-girlfriend's mom, aka the Queen Karen, tried to fucking literally push me and almost fight me, basically. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the story time and found it crazy. Please leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all later. Peace. Like, what's up? They leave me out for the day.